Welcome to Leaders Who Lead Differently, the DNA of cultural innovation. Here with me, I have moderator, moderator, CEO Myechia Barnett of Abundance Building LLC. She services business owners, entrepreneurs, and startups to grow their business. She's also a virtual assistant that helps and assists with social media. Well, I should put it this way, she's a manager and she helps entrepreneurs manage their social media platforms. She's also a graphic designer. And also here with me is CEO Jeniece Drake, of NuWave Travel. I'm excited. She does more than that, but I just can't wait for you to hear her heart of the matter. And today we're talking about how to build strong networks, quality and or quantity. And so, Myechia, if you don't mind, share a little bit about yourself for the entrepreneurs that are in the room. Okay.
Oh, there we go. I'm sorry. I had to get to the mute button.
Okay.
Um, so I what I do is I'm a virtual assistant, graphic designer, author. I help business owners brand their businesses. Um, and along with that, I also have products and services like design services, t-shirts and stuff that goes with my book, and so much more.
Mm, thank
And
you so
I'll
much
pass
for.
it to Denise.
Oh, yeah, thank you so much for sharing. And Janice, tell us a little bit about who you are and you being a CEO of NuWave Travel.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me on today.
Mhm.
And so, as Dr. Lavella mentioned, I am the CEO of NuWave Travel. And she also mentioned I do other things, and everything that I do is really geared towards how to serve people, how to elevate people. Even with NuWave Travel, our goal is not just to book trips, but we create unique, curated experiences. And I do this with NuWave Travel. I serve people in two different areas. We serve, of course, for travelers, but I also have a program that I help people get into the travel industry without having to go the route of multi-level marketing companies, because I know a lot of people, when they try to get into travel, that's usually who comes in, hey, we can help you become a travel agent, but they don't really get any training. It's really nothing catered to the person and what they desire to do and how they want to start their business. And I've been in business for 7 years now. The agency has been open for 7 years, but I've been in the business arena for well over a decade at this point. My family's run nonprofit organizations. I've run other businesses. So I actually come from a line of business owners. So I also serve as a business coach. I have programs for travel agency owners. And I'm currently in the process of launching a television channel. And all of this really connects together in helping boost people. The television channel is really about helping other small business owners get seen, independent creators getting seen. Basically, I serve to be for others what I didn't have for myself as I moved through certain industries and navigated certain things in the business arena.
Thank you so much for sharing. And what does that look like? What does it look and or feel when it comes to networking or building a strong business network, dealing with travel?
Well, with travel, a lot of people don't realize that it's really about relationships. Especially
Mm,
when you're working and trying to make sure that people are able to travel abroad safely. So when you hire a travel agency, it's really all about utilizing our network and the relationships that we build with different companies, different tour operators, different airlines, hotels, resorts, right? We actually travel and build these relationships, go to expos, we go to visit different destinations and really get to know people on the ground so we can bring those strong connections back to our clients and, of course, back to even our travel agents. So it's really important for us to, and when I talk about building relationships, it's not really just about making the money. It's really about genuinely, learning about an area, seeing how we can mutually help each other. It's about education, because, when you go to visit another area, I know a lot of people are going, you kind of just want to get away from, the everyday troubles of life. But if we don't really understand the destinations that we're sending people to, if we're not educated, then we fail, to
Mm-hmm.
educate our travelers on the best practices when they're visiting another country, because you're also visiting and becoming immersed in another culture. So there's a lot to network building in the reference that you're building a wealth of knowledge, building or connecting with different cultures and different people in different ways, right? And so we do that by pretty much learning those cultures and learning the different policies, laws that are going on, learning how to respect the other people when we go to these destinations, right? And they give a mutual respect to us. So, a lot of people think of networking, and a lot of times they just think about how it'll benefit them or how they can make money with it. But it really has a deeper connection to, or it's forging a deeper connection with another group of people. Networking. That's how I feel about it. That's what it is to me.
And I love the way you said that, forging, because too many times we look at the word networking and then our approach to networking. I mean, we all have different ideas based on strategy, techniques, and or navigating. But when you said forge, is like coming together or blending together. um and per business, or it don't matter what level or what type of business, we still have to network. What would be your, and I said your advice to those that are either marketing their book, branding their business, and or building networks? When you said force, what would be your idea? Give us at least three examples.
So I would say, if one of the things about networking is people usually don't know where to go and where to look.
Mm,
And you tend to, when you don't know where you're looking, you tend to cast the the line um, a little aimlessly, right? It's just, I'm gonna throw it out there and I'm gonna see what I catch. And so when you're marketing a product yourself, because a lot of times in business or whatever you're doing, you are the product, right? So if you're
yes.
service based, when you're trying to network or attract others to you, you need to be thinking about and focusing on the type of people who have a mentality that fit with your goals, right?
Mm,
So first things first, you can't connect with someone else if you haven't already connected with yourself. So
mm,
if you don't know who you are and you don't know who you need, what you need, you're going to find it very difficult to create meaningful relationships with other people.
that's good.
So I would say really your first step is really understanding who you are, connecting with yourself, and knowing and understanding who you are, what you need, and where you're going or where you aspire to go, because where you go can change, right?
Yes.
So think about where you aspire to go. And when you have those things in place, you're going to begin to refocus, and you're going to know where you're casting that line, right? So you won't go to different events just for the heck of going to the event. You're now going to purposefully look at what the type of event is. So when I go for travel, right? I I could say I could cast a broad line and go to any event that's for travel. But if I've taken the time to think about what I need, who I am, and where I'm going to go to events that actually cater to my target audience. I'm going to be there. And they may not be interested in travel at the time when I go to visit those areas. So it's really important to know what you need, who your audience is, because that's going to dictate where you go to connect with people and where you're going to find the people that are in line with your particular goal. But be sure that when you go to connect with these people, you know what you can bring to the table to help them as well. Do not only focus on what they could bring to the table for you, because then there's going to be a one-sided relationship and it's not going to work.
I'm glad you said that because our approach, and I'm going to go this way, our approach to networking or marketing, we tend to use what works for somebody else or what was their success for their business. But you use the word detach or knowing who you are, because we could tend to implement someone's strategies based on what works for them. And then we get frustrated when it's not working for us. And so, with that, I just had this conversation yesterday. I'm doing the right things, but it's not working. I'm not getting the clientele. I'm not getting, my business is not growing. And so, my issue for you and Jeniece, what is your thoughts based on implementing strategies to network and or market, but it's not working the way you want it to? Because when you see it, you drive for the results. And when you don't get the results that you desire, what is your approach? What is your technique?
Personally, for me, I have to make sure that even though I'm looking or have been intrigued by someone else's, let's say, marketing strategy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have this strategy, somebody taught it to me. You still have to put your own spin on it and you still have to be you.
Yes.
So if it's not successful, it could be because you're, or we, right, are actually trying to be that person. We're trying to make us look like someone else. And honestly, our audience can see through that. They know it's not authentic. At that point, you're trying too hard. So you have a hard time, or people have a hard time seeing you. So you have to find a way to take those strategies and make them your own.
Mm, that was good. I
So
wish it's to be. Go ahead.
um, for me personally, I think that it definitely starts with the mindset.
Mm,
Um, because if you are what you think, right? And that's in the word. So you have to first really, really dig deep and focus on your mindset of how you see your business and networking and building. And then you have to make connections, right? So if it's not working, then that means you need to make new connections and just keep going and be consistent in what it is that you're doing. And for me, it was prayer. I prayed a specific prayer for God to bring me women that are like minded, right? That want to see me win, that, specifics. I'm not going to go into details, but that's some of what, I did strategically for mine.
mm.
And, I just keep going. You just have to be consistent and meeting new people, telling people about your business, and so on and so forth.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. And for those that are in the room, if you have any questions, you feel free to leave it in the chat off to the right, or you could just simply raise your hand if you have any questions thus far. And we are talking about building networks or how to build strong networks, quality or quantity. Is there any questions thus far? You could just again raise your hand. For me, based on I followed instructions. I mapped it out. I'm like that, and I'm strategic. I'll map it out, and so therefore, when I said map it out, I'm mapping out 3 months, 6 months to a year, and I'm that person. I drive the process. I'm not sleeping. I'm not doing anything until I get the end result. But for what I did was, for my first magazine, I created, put a magazine in place to speak yet to the emerging or millennials that's on the scene, but yet product was in place and it wasn't moving. It wasn't moving to my target audience. it was moving yet to the seasoned saints. And I was questioning, okay, I'm glad that there is being purchased, but why isn't my target audience getting it? Why is it out of their reach? And I'm beating up myself. I'm going back over where I've placed it in regards to platforms, um, um, and posting about it and bringing about awareness to the
Dr. Lavella, you're breaking up. You got a phone call.
mature face. If you're trying to reach the millennials, you have to put a face for the millennials. So therefore, being that my face was mature, seasoned, it was reaching a mature audience. So it wasn't getting to my target audience. So he said, in order for you to reach your target audience, you have to have the face, the colors, the tone, whatever, to meet the audience. And that's one of the questions when it comes to consulting, for business consulting, to me, based on your books and all products. Let's go, for instance, Facebook, your page, and based on assessing, based on your product, the message that you're having, if you look at it based on who you are, your position, you might have 80% of churching them on your Facebook account, but you're promoting a business product, how to successfully build your business. So, therefore, what will happen to that product? Will it be seen or will it be shuffled? Because based on 80% of your audience on Facebook, that's again encouraging them, they're wanting a product or how to live a more stable, build my spiritual growth and how to. So here it is, you have a product, but it's not being seen and or shuffled. So we might have the right tactics, the right approach. We will probably map it out and have all the right strategies. But if the product is misrepresented, how will it reach our audience? So that's where it comes to our hashtags, our